Okay, so the other morning, real early, I get this Amber Alert comes across my phone. And it's about a 2-year-old black child, male, that is is traveling supposedly in a Toyota Camry. There's no license plate number. There's no year of the car. Um, doesn't even tell if the license was of any particular state. And, I find it really odd that they were missing so much information. And they claimed that the child was taken somewhere in Florida, like lower Florida or something. And so, anyway, oddly enough, parked right next door to my house is a white Toyota Camry. The description given of the male driver had dreadlocky looking hair, like shoulder length, and gold teeth. And, well, guess what? The driver looked like that, but he had his hair up in a ponytail. There was two children, a little girl and a boy. And that was pretty weird. And that particular house over there is kind of known in the area as a drug house. Anyway, especially when that girl sits on the porch day and night smoking weed, and it's not legal. And I'm offended because I don't do that kind of stuff, and my kids don't do that. I don't want dope around my kids. Anyway, so I had called the police, probably like a million other people did too, and mentioned to them that there was a white Toyota Camry, black kids, and the lady begins to ask me, well, because she has to look it up. That takes her a few minutes to do that, and she's like, well, when did you first see the car? I told her, it was late last night. And she's like, well, the report wasn't done till this morning. I said, well, I don't know anything about that. I'm not, an officer of the law, all I know is I got an Amber Alert on my phone. And my neighbors got them too. And I'm just being a good Samaritan. Anything to save a child's life or keep it from being endangered any longer. That's a really scary thing. Because there's people in the world been abducted for years and years and nobody found them. Or they were found years later deceased somewhere in the dirt. Really sad. But anyway, then she's like, well, what clothes are they wearing? I'm like, well, I don't know. They had all this description of clothes when I looked at another article online. And I said, don't you think they might have taken a shower or changed clothes by then? Or do you think somebody would still be wearing the same stuff? That's just like, there was a guy that shot a bunch of people in Alabama one year, and as soon as he left the scene of the crime at a nightclub, that he ran into the forest, and the first thing he did was start taking his clothes off. It's just like somebody who robs a store. Do you think they're going to wander around all day in the same garb they were wearing when they robbed the store? No. Common sense tells you that. Anyway, so it's very concerning because it puts law enforcement in a very difficult situation when they've got to check every Toyota Camry in the world. There's so many of them made, and this was a white Toyota Camry supposedly. And so, can you imagine all the people that were stopped or harassed, or people thought bad things about people because they had a Toyota Camry that was white with an unknown year, unknown tag, unknown state of the tag where it came from. I found it pretty odd because usually Amber Alerts have a lot of info, not just a white Toyota Camry. They've been making Camrys, God, I think since the 70s. It's a lot of years of car. But anyway, so I just heard today there was some news flash that they had found that the child was deceased in a kind of a rural area next to the mother of the child's residency. And there's some kind of story of how, she was walking with the kid at 9:30 at night or something, and they took a ride from a stranger, and the guy knocked her out and took the kid and went on. That was her supposed story, and then she had some mark on her head that looked like she'd been hit, and she claimed she didn't know exactly what time that they got the kid because she'd been knocked out for hours or whatever. And she's also a young mother. And it really concerns me because now they're claiming that she has murdered the child. Now, of course, I'm not a lawyer, and, you're innocent until proven guilty, I suppose, and all that good stuff. I'm just telling you the part where it's like, all I know is what I read in the newspaper. I'm just giving you kind of my thoughts about this, and let's hear your thoughts in the comments down below. I think it's a very sad situation. Also, the picture they had given, there's some statement about it wasn't a current picture of the child. So that was concerning too. When you have kids, and especially with today's age with the cell phones and they can film and photograph, you take pictures all the time of your kids and everything else in the world. You just do. I mean, that's just all about life. It's the convenience of having that. We didn't have all that when I was a kid. We had to take pictures with film and send it off to be developed in the mail. And then if you were lucky enough to have a Polaroid camera, which was huge money, and the film was grotesque huge money, and you could wait 15 minutes for a crappy picture to develop, instantly before your eyes. But anyway, yeah, I have a hard time because all of my kids, I have photographed them constantly. I even did an oil painting one of my children. It's just so beautiful. But, I mean, if you're a loving mother, you have lots and lots of pictures of your kids, and you go to places like Walmart and get pictures done relatively cheap, cheaper than the schools do. You have pictures. You just do. Relatives take pictures. Friends take pictures. I mean, you take pictures. You can't tell me you don't have a current picture of a 2-year-old child anywhere near that time. That's ridiculous. Bothers me a lot. Anyway, so many flaws in the report and time and everything. It really, to me, sounded like a lie right from the get-go. I've never seen an Amber Alert that was so vague like that. I couldn't understand. No year for the car. What tag it had on. The one that I saw had a Mississippi tag on it. But who's to say somebody's not down in Florida with Mississippi tags? I mean, people travel all the time. So, it's very concerning to me, stuff like this. So now they claim that the child was killed by the mother and buried or something in a forest near the house or something. I don't know. It's still pretty vague, the description. It's come across a few news channels just today, just shortly ago. I'm still trying to find more on the internet. But here's my concern. If, in fact, this girl pulled a hellacious lie like this to alert the entire United States and use up cell phone services for emergencies, I didn't appreciate a big coming on my phone it was 6 in the morning or something the other day. Gee whiz. And them to use electronic billboards across expressways across the United States for law enforcement all over the states to stop a white Toyota Camry all day long and harass people, investigate, I think that's a total abuse of the system. And I hope they bill her for it. Because law enforcement could have been doing something way more important than play on a lie. Because it appears that this girl told a big story and figured it wouldn't make a difference. But see, people had to be paid for their time. Law enforcement, the people that type up that stuff and put it through cell phone systems, they were paid for their time. Every time a police officer stopped somebody to investigate a white Toyota Camry, they were paid for their time when they could have been doing something else that was real and true and important. You know, I think it's a horrible waste of the federal government's employees. And I hope that the court charges her for this abuse grossly, because it's horrible to abuse the emergency system like this. You know, we're all here across the United States to help each other. When we get an alert like that, we all watch. And, you know, seconds count. It could be someone's life, you know. It could be your own kid. It could be your neighbor's kid. You know, it could be any emergency with somebody that you know or don't know. But we all pull together and we're eyes. That's the easiest way to track somebody down, hopefully in time, if, you know, everybody's looking. So, I think it's really, really sad. So, tell me your thoughts, because there's mine. And I hope you have a really great and blessed day.